You know when they say if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for everything, right? Your why is what you're standing for. So despite the noise, despite the chaos, if it doesn't align with your why or it takes you further away from it, then that's not something that you should continue to consume your mind. Hey, I'm Brianna Régine, an award-winning brand growth strategist for entrepreneurs and decision makers who feel stuck and are ready to get strategic about reaching their next level. But let's be clear. In this podcast, we ditch the highlight reel and get into the raw, real stories of what it takes to build a brand from the people making it happen. No more perfect perceptions of success, no more unrealistic expectations, no more feeling powerless. This is your go-to space for the real deal Holyfield about business growth, full of obstacles, funny stories, real talk, self-reflections, hot takes on current events, and must-have tips. If you've got a fresh idea brewing, you're a sucker for new strategies and insights, or you need to be reminded of how freaking dope you are, this podcast is for you. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Brand Unveiled. I'm your host, Brianna Régine, and this is a podcast all about pulling back the layers of what it means to be an entrepreneur, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the in-between. Firstly, I'm so glad that you decided to return back to another episode, and for those of you who are new here, welcome. Craig! The Brand Unveiled, I film in my humble abode, and in the haste of trying to make the afternoon as productive as possible, I put my clothes in the dryer, and as soon as I put them in, about 10 minutes after, I said, damn it, that sound is going to go off in the middle of me recording my podcast episode. Anyways, if you are new here or if you are a returning guest, I'm so happy. Guest? Not a guest. We go together real bad. Okay? I'm so glad that you are here and you are taking time out of your day. You could be doing anything else, but you are either watching or listening to the audio version of this episode, and I am delighted. I'm super grateful. Immediately, like, comment, share, subscribe, all of the things. And I hope you're doing well. You know, there's just a lot going on in Q1. I'm grateful for it all, but it is moving quite quickly, and there are a variety of things that are happening. And above all else, there are blessings among the fatigue, but also productivity among the chaos. And we're grateful for that. And you want to know why? Because above all else, my God is an awesome God. He reigns. And also, this episode is supposed to be super crazy. It's definitely symbolic of where my mind is right now. But also, just staying true to myself has done wonders. I have been able to upsell clients, get new clients, have some things not gotten done. Yes, but I am proud in how I am authentically leading and continuing to build and sustain as we are in our 9th year of business. Hallelujah. Speaking of authenticity, aren't we over that word? I know. What does that really mean? But it brings me to the pop culture event section of the show, which is not that detailed. I'm just going to say 3 names. 4. I lied. Look at the cue card. I thought I had 3. It's 4. Follow me. Bad Bunny, Kendrick Lamar, Beyoncé, and Kehlani. What do all 4 of those names have in common? I'll give you a second. Doom, 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 hey, bum, bum. Okay, really what sparked it was the Bad Bunny Super Bowl performance culture moment. And then, you go on social media and you see all the discourse, and essentially his performance and how it resonated with Puerto Ricans, Latinos, Hispanic. I want to make sure that I'm using the right words. However you choose to identify, that performance elevated and amplified the beauty and the culture of those communities. Kendrick Lamar did the same thing for us Black people. Put up your fists. The year prior, Beyoncé, throughout her entire career, is advocating for Black people. Kehlani, advocates for a variety of social political issues, but more importantly, I put her on here because that aside, she has a common thread of advocating for the truth that is R&B and really honoring the craft and what, you know, the folks that came before her, that's at the foundation for R&B. All four of those artists have remained authentic to the beauty of their art and using it as a catalyst to make statements that are undeniable. And for that, they deserve praise. But so do you, darling. So do you, because in your own way, however you're using your gifts, however you are tapping into your truth, however you are tapping into your authenticity and using it to allow you to rise and elevate and uplift and empower and encourage. Look at them while you look at yourself. You're doing it, babes. You're doing it. And don't let anyone tell you any different. Next section. Okay, so aha moment in business. Again, one word. Time management. This season, as I said a few moments ago, is kicking my booty hole. And it really has caused me to think about, what does time management even look like in this season, or what has it looked like in this season? For me, time management is almost synonymous to networking. Like, you know, when you hear that word and you're like, well, what does that mean? Right? Time management in this season, and if it resonates with you, lovely. If it doesn't, so what? Time management in this season for me means staying afloat. So right now, my team is short-staffed, yet new clients and opportunities are continuing to come. I need to hire someone strategically, but I'm also having to keep current projects moving. And so what has been my saving grace is the systems that I have implemented and built along my 9 years of growing and sustaining the BRVC company. Now, are my systems exhaustive? Hell no. But it's little steps that are put into place that has allowed me to stay afloat during the influx of work. And so I rely heavily on calendars. I have a paper planner, agendas to structure my days and make the calls as efficient as possible, using project management systems like Asana, and then also using those things together, like not only in the workflow of the order in which those things happen, but also leaning into AI, honestly, to figure out what parts of the workflow can be streamlined so that way the maintaining of the system doesn't take as long as actually checking things off, because the system allows me to move through my to-do list. And so that has been really key during this season for time management. And when I was preparing for this episode, I was like, yeah, I practice what I preach, girl. Okay, systems are key. If you don't have systems, you don't have a level of accountability in running your business, and you don't have an anchor to ground you in what you should be working on next, or if you're making progress on certain tasks, or if you're working at an optimal level versus letting chaos drive the ship. And then also, you know how that phrase, rest is productive. Totally get it. I agree. Need sleep for sure. But I want to take that a step further. Thing that I've been saying pretty consistently over the past year. I believe that there is value in starting your day early. I've done it. I have moments where I do it, where I wake up in between the hours of 6 to 7 a.m. and I start my day every now and again, sometimes before 6 a.m. And it does make a difference as far as how much I'm able to get done within the day, provided that, though, follow me, that I rested anyway, and that I feel rested anyway. For me, I'd rather be a well-rested leader than a grouchy, irritable one. And if that means that my day starts at 7 or it starts at 9, even though I prefer the former, at least I know that whatever task, whatever meetings, whatever obligations I have for the day, how do I want to say this? Will I have to maybe rearrange my priorities depending on when my day starts? Maybe. Do I also think strategically as far as like which days I sometimes choose to start my day later because I already thought through what my priorities are and which ones I can be more lenient with? Yes. Sometimes, no. I think that also comes with experience too, though. Like the art of being able to pivot day to day, right? And also not beat yourself up so much along the way. Your body needs rest. So think about that as you're building your own business and what you need in order to restore and think straight. So that has been really key for me in this time of really managing my time. And yeah, like I said before, flexibility is key. Being able to pivot is crucial, especially when client needs pop up or a teammate is out. You have to be agile and you have to give yourself grace in order to stay afloat. So when they say time management, hopefully what I shared with you today gives you either a new perspective or it reminds you of what that could mean in your world. Next. Okay, so on the mic consulting, which you guys know I love, never knew what I was missing. Okay, I love consulting and giving insight and talking strategy with you guys. So if you have a question that you'd like me to answer on the mic, please submit it to info@BriannaRégine.com. That is info@BriannaRegine.com. All right. So today's on the mic consulting question comes from another Reddit user. They are a 25-year-old with a wait, why can't I talk? What's going on? Is everybody okay? Is it me? Stop that. Okay. So they are a 25-year-old with a mortgage and child. They feel trapped by the entrepreneur. Why can't I talk? What is Craig? I want everybody to know as well. Craig is not a real person. I am literally in here by myself. There's no producers or anything like that. It's just me by myself talking to the camera and hoping that someone out there understands me. Okay, let's try it. Third time's the charm. The challenge of the listener is they are a 25-year-old with a mortgage and a child, but they feel trapped by the entrepreneurial echo chamber, aka start this business, but AI makes this much money. They worry they're wasting their time and are anxious about AI disrupting jobs. How do you stay encouraged to stick with one thing and tune out the noise? Through BRVC Talent, I actually facilitated a workshop with college student interns for one of my clients' programs that we're facilitating. And one of the topics they are interested in is how to maintain or up-level their skills within the industry, knowing that AI is going to continue to evolve. So like, how do they continue to stay competitive with AI? And my immediate reaction to this question of how do you stay encouraged to stick with one thing and tune out the noise is being grounded in your why. I know that's so overused sometimes, but it really is an answer to a lot of these what if or how to be a successful entrepreneur. Getting clarification on your why is the anchor to your entrepreneurship journey. It's the anchor to starting your business, but most definitely maintaining your business, because outside noise, it doesn't stop. And every milestone of your business, when you make your first 4 figures, when you do 5 figures, 6 figures, hell, I'm sure it happens when you are in the 7-figure and the 8-figure range too. You're going to have so many different challenges that are going to be so new to you because you've never been in that particular season before. And you're not incapable of navigating those challenges, but you definitely will have to reach back into your toolbox of What can I use? What can be done? What's needed here? What resources do I have? What resources do I need? Like, you'll need those things from your toolbox, but you'll also need to remember your why, because there's also so much knowledge out there that can be really overwhelming, and everyone makes, a different approach or methodology sound really, really good, but it can be distracting. And I have learned that it's good to stay abreast current events and new ways of thinking and doing, but it's equally effective for you as a decision maker to be confident in your why and your decision making. And not even the decision itself. I'm trying not to sound so freaking mystical. Not even the decision itself, but the fact that you are a decision maker of integrity. You are a decision maker that doesn't just make frivolous decisions. Like, you think through the elements of your business that matter. So if it's just you, maybe it's directly your expenses, or narrowing down your expenses, or gaining more profit, or driving more revenue, or breaking even, whatever stage you're in, right? Maybe if it's beyond you, it's making sure that other stakeholders are happy, or that you're maintaining a good quality customer experience, right? You have to be confident in your ability to make a decision, whether it be right or wrong for that particular season, but knowing that it was the best go at it that you possibly could give it. And being mindful of your why and coming back to that anytime you feel like you're in analysis paralysis, you have decision fatigue, you are tired and you don't know which way you should pivot, like, your why will ground you in that. I hope that makes sense. Another way to think about that is like, when they say if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for everything, right? Your why is what you're standing for. So despite the noise, despite the chaos, if it doesn't align with your why, or it takes you further away from it, then that's not something that you should continue to consume your mind. Think of your daily habits. Things do you continue to do? Why do you do them? Despite what other people may think or how others live their lives. Because there's a why, there's an internal driving force that says, I know I need to do this thing no matter what. So definitely clarify your why, because that's your anchor for staying encouraged. I will also say, not to beat a dead horse, but control what you consume, which is kind of what I was saying a few moments ago in my very long-winded answer. Consume trends, stay in the know about market research, all of those things. If you have people that inspire you, your competitors, people that are aspirational, keep a pulse on them, but don't let them overpower you actually doing the thing. Where they're at now, they didn't start out that way. It took time. It took time of them repeatedly staying in their why, operating in their why, operating in their zone of genius, market research, trying things, doing things, planning, doing things again, pivoting. That's really important. I also have a note on here as far as, committing to honing your craft. There's a narrative right now. I see it a lot on TikTok because the economy, which I get, every now and again, I see 10 ways to make money, 10 side hustles I would start. And all that content isn't bad, but like I was saying a few moments ago, it can be distracting if you are letting, in this example, financial anxiety is what I call it, consume you so much that you're looking for the quickest way to get out of it, or you're looking for the less laborious, did I say that word right? The method that requires the less labor, you're looking for that route. Babes, this takes hard work. I don't know how else to break it to you, but building a business takes hard work. Even if, darling, you are trust fund baby and you have some money or you have some investors, you still have to bust your ass. There's no, I don't care if you start a business selling pencils. You still gotta go out there on the street or in your school, on the school bus, on the playground, okay? After the church sermon, you still gotta put on your little pencil selling hat and open your pencil selling box and say, hey, I'm selling these pencils, and make them sound like the best damn pencils that anybody has ever heard about. And you still gotta get your messaging right. You still gotta get your target audience together. You gotta take account for the fact that maybe people aren't into pencils anymore. Maybe they're into goddamn pens. Like, I'm sorry. There's no listen, building a business is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. No matter how many different side hustles and no matter how many, okay, I'm gonna do this full time with my business, but I'm gonna start this side hustle. All of it is a lot of work. So there is an element of committing to your craft and mastering one thing or becoming really good at one thing so that way you can scale that and then you can diversify along the way. Because I believe that there is value in getting really good at one thing and selling it repeatedly, but I also believe there's value in diversification of skills and being a jack of all trades. Because while being a jack of all trades, which arguably I can call myself that, I also have learned conceptually what is required for each trade. And I also know where my cap is within each trade. And that knowledge alone gives me the ability to, like, when I'm talking to prospective clients, I know how much I can take on or how much my teammate needs to take on or if we need to hire someone. And also, even if it goes down the route of having to hire someone, conceptually, I know what the baseline is. Like, I know, therefore, how much money I actually will need to cash out. So I say all that to say, if you're starting a business and you're wanting to start a business and you're trying to figure out what's the best route for me, how do I tune out the noise once I am up and I'm going and I'm committed to putting one foot in front of the other, pick one thing. And then that one thing that you choose, you will discover if you are interested in having your add-ons. So if I out the gate 9 years ago, I knew that at first I thought the BRBC company was only going to be a PR company. That's it. And I framed it as that at the beginning. But then as I started talking to prospective clients, I realized that they weren't ready for PR. They needed help with branding and marketing. And I focused on that to build them up to become PR ready. And I had done some aspects of branding and marketing before starting my company and PR too. So I already had diversified my skills, but it doesn't matter because when I started my own thing, I knew where I wanted to go, but the market was telling me different. And so I embraced diversification and ultimately I became good at being a strategist who could execute on behalf of branding, marketing, and PR. Now, I would not frame us as a PR company solely. Depending on where you look, Google may still say that, but we are definitely well-rounded strategy and implementation. So commit to your craft, get really good at one thing, start there when you're starting your business, and be open-minded to what the market is telling you. Not the market research is a difference, but how the prospective customers, how they're responding to your offer, how they're describing their problem, and what makes you excited about solving that problem. And this resolution may not be the main offer that prompted the conversation. You may discover that it's something different, and that will be your opportunity to say, hey, okay, my mastery is this, but I can delve in this world a little bit. And then before you know it, you'll be able to pick and choose what your collective mastery is. The last thing I want to say is celebrate your wins at every stage. It is so crucial. I don't do this enough, but because there is so much noise out there, because entrepreneurship is challenging every single day, because you are going to evolve as a person, and that's going to show up in your business, and your business is going to evolve, and that's going to show up in your personal life. It's a very integrated experience. You have to celebrate your small wins. So whether that is keeping a journal, writing down aspirations about yourself every single day, not aspirations, affirmations every single day, making sure that you're surrounded by a community of like-minded individuals. Entrepreneurship can be very lonely, especially as you become more successful and the conversations become different. You want people that can relate to you, but you also want folks that you want to be like. And it's important to surround yourself with folks who can keep you accountable to the goals that you have, and that can also celebrate you when you feel like you're just trying to get to the next step, but you haven't celebrated the fact that the next step, or where you are currently before that next step, you actually prayed for. So it's really key to celebrate your small wins. And even you asking yourself this question of how do you stay encouraged to stick with one thing and tune out the noise, that shows me that you are eager and hungry to start your business, to implement your ideas. You just have to rip the Band-Aid off and do it. You'll know when you know. And that's the mystical part of entrepreneurship. You won't know until you know. So just do it and you'll figure it out. The fact that you're even thinking like this shows me that you are equipped to at least give it a go. It may not work out, but you will learn a lot along the way. If you have a question that you'd like me to answer on the mic, like I said before, please email info@Brianna Régine. Guys, I tell you, it's Friday. It is 5:10 p.m. I have to go. But boy, I'm long-winded naturally. Every now and again, I have a punchy, that gets the people going. But I hope that there is something in this episode that resonated with you and that it truly empowers you to continue on your journey of entrepreneurship. Or if you've been thinking about starting your own business, I hope something in this episode inspires you to give it a go. You won't know until you know. And entrepreneurship can really be a beautiful thing, whether it be the product and service and the customers that you're able to satisfy. But above all else, I believe that it is one of the most shape-shifting human experiences that one can have. So with that, rate, comment, share, subscribe, leave a comment if something in this episode resonated with you, particularly if you are, what do I want to know from you crazy people? How are you staying authentic in this season? As you are sustaining a business, starting a business, thinking about starting a business, how are you staying authentic in your decisions? What does that look like for you? Leave a comment. Let me know. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for sticking with me. I'm long-winded as hell, especially when it's been a long week. Yeah. Bye, guys.